Looking ahead to 2025, there are a handful of stocks that look like they're just coiled and ready for a major breakout. So today we're going to dig into 5 US companies that have some really powerful catalysts and the fundamentals to back it all up. Let's get right into it. You know, this quote really nails it. Things feel a little unpredictable, right? But that's where the opportunity is. The potential for some huge rewards is definitely there. And the key, just like the quote says, is getting yourself positioned early. So where should we even be looking? That really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? So let's try to cut through some of that noise and really zero in on the companies that are riding the absolute biggest waves of technological change right now.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to kick things off with the undisputed king of the AI supercycle. Then we'll check out a social media giant's really clever pivot. After that, we'll look at a potential comeback story, a silent giant that you might not know, and a master of data. And then we'll tie it all together. So let's dive in. First up, NVIDIA. I mean, at this point, the name is basically synonymous with AI. They're not just part of this AI revolution. They are quite literally the engine that's making the whole thing go. So NVIDIA's potential breakout isn't just about what they've already done. See, the demand for their tech isn't just steady, it's actually accelerating. They've got their new Blackwell chips launching, they're pushing into new areas like robotics, but the main driver? It's the relentless, non-stop building of AI data centers all over the world. And this slide, this number right here tells you everything you need to know about their power. 70 to 80% of the GPU market, that's the superpowered chip that is the brain of AI, they have a virtual monopoly on the one piece of hardware that is absolutely essential for this revolution. And that gives them incredible pricing power and a massive, massive competitive moat. So if NVIDIA is selling all the picks and shovels for this AI gold rush, who's actually buying them? Well, that leads us right to our second company, which happens to be a huge buyer of those very chips, Meta. Meta is in the middle of this enormous pivot. They're taking their huge user base, we're talking billions of people, and using it to roll out AI features faster than pretty much anyone else can. Plus, they're finally starting to make serious money from Reels and WhatsApp, and their AI-powered ad targeting is, well, it's scary effective. The next big catalyst to watch for, AI agents for businesses. And if you're wondering if that whole strategy is actually working, well, just look at their financials. You can see it right here. Those bars for revenue and operating income, it's not just a return to growth, it is accelerating growth. This is a company that is absolutely firing on all cylinders. Now, while Meta is enjoying this huge resurgence, our next company is setting the stage for what could be a full-blown comeback. After a pretty tough 2024, Tesla is making some really big strategic moves for 2025. So on the left, you've got the story of 2024, a difficult market, revenue that kind of flattened out. But then you look to the right, and that's the potential for 2025. They are getting aggressive on cutting costs, they're rolling out new battery tech, and they're doubling down on self-driving. All of that could mean they end up making more profit on every single car they sell. Now here's something a lot of people are missing. Everyone is laser-focused on the car sales numbers, right? But just look at the growth rate for energy storage on this chart. That part of their business is just quietly exploding in the background. This could be a huge, and I mean huge, underappreciated driver of their future growth. And you've got to keep your eyes peeled for these two potential game changers, an official announcement about a robo-taxi fleet or the launch of their next-generation, more affordable EV. Either one of those could completely rewrite the entire story for Tesla. Okay, so while Tesla is always grabbing the headlines, our next company is a bit of a silent giant. It just quietly, methodically builds massive value behind the scenes. Let's pull back the curtain on Broadcom. Broadcom's strategy is actually pretty simple, but it is incredibly powerful. So on one side, they design and supply custom AI chips to the biggest tech giants. And on the other side, they buy up big software companies for their steady, reliable income. You combine that with a fantastic management team and a relentless focus on rewarding shareholders and, well, you've got a winning formula. Honestly, this one little chart kind of tells the whole story. Just look at that consistent dividend growth, year after year after year. This isn't just about flashy tech. It's about smart, disciplined capital allocation that consistently returns cash to its investors. It's a true wealth compounding machine. All right, let's move on to our fifth and final company. This is one that sits right at the intersection of national security,
big data and artificial intelligence, Palantir. So Palantir is really firing on two powerful cylinders right now. Their government and defense business is booming, especially in a world with growing geopolitical instability. But at the exact same time, their commercial AI platform is really starting to catch fire, helping huge companies unlock the value that's been hidden away in their data. But here's the real kicker. Palantir has crossed a super important line in the sand. They've gone from a company that was burning through cash to one that is now consistently profitable. And for any tech company, that is a massive, massive turning point. Okay, so we've looked at 5 very different companies. But they aren't just 5 random picks. There's a really powerful thread that connects them all. Let's zoom out for a second and look at the huge megatrends that are driving all of this. So here's the big takeaway. These companies aren't just individual success stories. Each one of them is a leader in a massive technological wave that's reshaping our entire world, from AI and automation to energy, the cloud, and defense. They are all tapping into powerful, long-term trends. And that really brings us to the final question, one for you to think about. All of these trends are incredibly powerful, but which one do you think will truly define the story of 2025? The answer to that could point you toward the biggest opportunities of the year. Thanks for joining us.